Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a TV show review. I haven't did one of these in a long, long time, and I'm going to start doing them soon. I'm going to start doing some more TV shows, but I did get done watching a show, and I was watching it, and all of a sudden it ended. It ended. Um, After 6 episodes, I was like, that's it. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you a complete review of my thoughts on the first season, and yeah, this is about the show Glitch on Netflix. I don't think I did this review. I'm pretty sure I haven't did this review. So I was going to do review Glitch season 1 on Netflix. If you haven't seen the show, I think it's a Netflix original. It's either, and this is what I could not figure out. Are they British or are they Australian? I want to say British. I think it's like a UK thing. I think it's a UK thing or British, whatever. I don't know. I'm confused about the whole thing. I mean, if it's like Britain or UK, I have no idea what's going on. A European show, I'll say that. European. It feels like a European show. Um, but anyways, this show is. I'll give you the premise for the show, and I'll probably give some spoilers at the end, but I'll warn you so you can turn it off if you haven't seen the show. Then you can definitely go watch it. Um, but so that's what I'm going to do. Let's talk about Glitch. So the premise of the show is basically these graves. These people start coming out of the graves. I think there's 6 people. I want to say 6 people to begin with. And they start coming out of their graves, and they're shaking and they're wondering what's going on. They're scared, and they don't tell you what's going on with these people at first. Um, and then they get a call, a disturbance was in the. I don't know what happens. I think somebody hears or somebody comes by and sees that, or one of the groundskeepers sees that something's going on. I'm not really sure. How did the cops get there? I'm trying to remember the first episode. Um, Maybe it's. I'm thinking. Okay, so there's a kid in this movie, and he's with one of the people, kind of through the show. Um, and I think he may have called, and then the cops showed up. Maybe that's how it is. I don't remember. Somehow the cops got called. That's all I'm saying. And then the cop calls a hospital friend or a doctor friend that he knows to come and help him see what's going on with these people because he doesn't want to scare the town. He doesn't want them to get all freaked out, so he calls the town or calls the doctor for God's sakes, and they come and they get all the people, whatever, whatever. Now, I'm not. This ain't really a spoiler, but there are other people that they only get like 4 people and put them in this thing, put them in the car and take them back to this location that they make it kind of private. It's not really private. It's in town, but they do it at night, so nobody can really see them. And then later on, they move into another location. It's not really a spoiler. It is. They just for some reason they have to move into another location, whatever. But there is people that they didn't catch. There is one person I think at the end of the first episode that there's another person that comes out of the grave um, that you don't see until the second episode um, interact with anybody. Um, but then there's one person that is roaming around with this little boy, and he ends up doing some whatever. So it's interesting. And you don't really know much about him until the second episode either. So basically, these people came back, and what you find out is that in the first episode is that so it's kind of a spoiler, but not really. It'll make you watch the show. Let me tell you this: the policeman didn't see everybody that got in the car. He just said, "Round up all the people, get in the car, take them back. I'll meet you there. I had to go do something, blah blah blah." I don't remember what he did. I don't exactly remember, but he was helping getting people into the car as well. So I think he took a couple. He took a few. I think he took like a couple people, and I think he took the 2 younger people, and then the other people got in the car with whatever. but with the doctor lady. And they go back and everything, and he's doing all his. I don't know what he was doing. He was calling his wife or whatever like that, and then he comes back out, and there's a lady that's all cleaned up and everything, and it was his wife before that had died 2 years ago from cancer. Wouldn't that be messed up? That's all I'm saying. And the first thing that, when the first episode ended, and that's kind of basically how I think how the first episode ended was, well, no, they explained things and then they talked, but then it kind of left it open, like, what's going to happen next? Because he has to, he has another woman that is pregnant, and his wife, 2 years, died of cancer. Um, you know, came back and, well, you know, and certain things happen in this thing. There's something about the bridge, I will tell you that. They cannot leave the town. And they can't go to the hospital because every time you go to leave the town to go to the hospital, you can't do it. That's all I'm going to say. It can't happen. I'll talk about that later when I do a couple spoilers. They can't do it because the people will die. That's all I'm going to say. Something happens to the people when they cross this certain bridge, so they can't do it. Yeah, that's the premise of the story. What happens with the people? I can't really tell you anything more about the show. You got to check it out for yourself. There's a lot of crazy things that have to do with these people. In the first season, there's only 6 episodes, and they jam pack a lot of stuff in it. But they did a really good job. I think this show is really, really well done. Even it being a UK kind of show, whatever, it's actually pretty good. It's surprising me. There's so many shows on Netflix that I watch, and it's boring. It drags, and there's no really weight to stand on, and I can't watch it because it's so boring, and there's nothing there to keep me entertained. This one's kind of supernatural. It's got an aspect to it where you're going, what's going on? And near the end of the first season, there is something that makes you think things. So I hope they make a second season of this. I hope they continue to make. I hope they make a longer second season of this. Um, but if they keep it short, it actually may actually help the show to progress and last longer. But I really hope this show continues because I think that there's uh, something with the show that could become popular. So definitely check it out if you like supernatural shows and things like that, because this is definitely one of those like, what the heck is going on? Um, so it's at 8 minutes. I highly recommend this show. Check it out on Netflix. It's now available on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. So hopefully the second season comes around and I can talk about this again. Um, but as far as that goes, I'm going to talk about spoilers. So I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds at 8:15. All right, 10 more seconds, and I'm going to start talking about spoilers. Turn it off now. If you don't want to be ruined, turn it off now. Right now, right now, right now. We're talking about spoilers. I'm getting ready to talk about spoilers. Turn it off. Last chance. Here we go. 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm now starting to talk about spoilers. All right. So let's get into the spoilers. I hope everybody that doesn't want to be ruined, you turned it off by now. Holy crap. This show has me hooked. I want to see. It had me kind of. Do I want to watch it? Do I want to watch it? Like at 4 episodes. The last 2 episodes I watched like back to back because it was so good, and I want to know what happened. So there is a crazy cop that shows up in this show, and if you've seen it, hopefully you've seen it and you're watching reviews. If you don't care about it, whatever, and I'm going to spoil it for you, and you don't really care, that's fine. But there's this crazy cop that you know from the beginning of the show, they introduce him to you. He goes a little crazy, and by the end of the season, he's dead. They kill him. They had to because he was they were doing. I don't know. Did they kill the guy? I think they killed him. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Like they're gonna have to explain that. Um, there's gonna be a lot of explaining to do. Anyway, but yeah, I think they killed him because he was trying. Like he killed one of the people. He was saying that everybody had to die because they came from the ground, not natural. They need to go back. Logical? I understand. Logical. but you can't just go around killing people. I don't know why they're back, but I mean, I'm assuming if it really happened in real life, people would be wondering the same thing too. Can't just kill them. Technically, they're people. They came back to life. I understand they were dead before. We can't explain why they came back to life, but we can't just go kill them because it's still murder, people. Um, and they were healthy because the doctor checked them out and they're healthy. There was nothing wrong with them. They came back healthy, the same age as when they died. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. So, the show had me intrigued with, first of all, the wife thing that I explained at the beginning of this video. That was a hooker. And I was like, well, not a hooker, but anyways, that was the hooker for me to stay hooked to the show because that story part alone is enough to go, well, I gotta see where this goes. It is interesting that, near the end of the season, I think the second to last episode, that's what made me I had to watch the second episode, and the last, is when his current wife basically goes into the police station and says, hey, somebody broke into me. I seen their license plate, and turns in the wife that died of cancer, but the town didn't know about it then. But then the cop that found her, there's only like 3 cops in the freaking town, um, he knew she was. They were close when she was alive. Think that girl would have known that little things in the plot kind of didn't make no sense. But it's a good show. I think it could be a good show. Um, some of the things that were drawn out didn't make much sense. Um, some things are interesting. The mayor that died a long time ago came back to life as well. He was the one roaming around, and he finally gets back with the people, and they check him out and everything. He's okay. Actually, I don't even know if they really checked him out to see if he was okay. But he got murdered, and they kind of all of them were trying to figure out like how they died, so they can figure out like just come full circle and figure out how they died. And it seems like all of them kind of had like, except for the cancer, which I don't know why she came back. That one was kind of intriguing me. Um, but a lot of them were murdered or killed in a way so that they didn't die of natural causes, which I'm thinking that's going to be kind of the thing going into the next season. If they have a second season, I hope to God they have a second season. It's kind of be the pivot point, and maybe the cop's wife was there was a point for that, so that he would help the doctor. And why I'm saying he would help the doctor is because I think she planned this to happen. I think it was an experiment. But she got to the cemetery awful quick on the first episode. That's what's making me think that something happened. And there is a scene where the cop that went bad says something to the doctor lady about uh, it's not natural, all this other stuff, and I know you have something to do with it. I think it has something to do with the drug company because they nonchalantly, they're like zooming in on the logo, showing the logo. They're making a point to fit that logo into the frame. So I definitely think it has something to do with it. If you missed that part, just remember they were showing the part where where Patty, the mayor guy with the kid, tried to show that he's a legitimate thing, but whatever. They're showing the little picture on the wall, and they're saying pharmaceuticals. It says on there or something, and then logo. There's that logo on the bottom of the screen. It's the medical place, whatever. And then later on, you see it on a needle or whatever that she's filling something to put into the bad cop. Um, Here's my thing: if something happens on the first episode of the second season, and the cop comes out of the ground and he's all good again, then you were gonna know it's something to do with that pharmaceutical company. Because I'm thinking maybe the thing lies dormant for a while, and then it comes alive when the person's fully healed. That's what I'm thinking. It has something to do with that. I think it's gonna be something crazy like that. Um, but this show gets you thinking. And it's like, wait, hold on a second. Like, oh no, I know what's going to happen. And you keep thinking in your mind, like, oh, I know what's going to happen. And then it goes another way. And you're like, didn't expect that. Okay, awesome. Just a lot of things. The show is really, really cool. All the show is done really, really well. I'm excited to see what happens. At the end, we see some people die. We see some people, against their wishes, were brought away from the bridge. A lot of things happen near the end. We're like going. And also, the thing about the bridge was that somebody died because I think the cop was trying to take somebody to the hospital, and the doctor didn't agree, and he said, "I'm taking them anyway." And they went. That's the only thing about the weird thing about, like, why would something not let you take it out of the town? Like, that's the supernatural thing. I still think the pharmaceutical company has something to do about it, but I don't understand how that it would do that. Because every time they go across that bridge, their eyes started bleeding, and things started happening, and it's crazy. And the one guy disintegrated. He turned to ashes right on the bridge. Kind of weird, kind of cool. But it was like, whoa! I was like, what the hell? I think that was like the second episode or end of the first episode that happened. Maybe the end of the second episode because I know I think I watched 2 and 3 back to back, and then I watched 4, and then I was kind of like, it got in the middle of 4, and I stopped watching. Um, and just took a break for a while, and then I went back to it and finished it. But without a doubt, if you haven't checked out Glitch, I hope to God that you didn't watch or listen to the spoilers because that's kind of crazy. Um, but the crazy, there was one of the guys who was like a robber back in the day. It was really obvious though, like he's sitting there talking with the doctor, and like they're getting really really close, and I'm just like, they're gonna they're gonna start making out any moment now. And then what happens? They they bang halfway through the movie, like they go and make out and have sex and stuff halfway through the during one of the episodes. I was like, yep, seen that coming. Uh, Pretty obvious. But then he turns and is trying to do crazy stuff. So second season, something could happen with that. Who knows? Robber guy could be back to being robber guy. Could be a bad guy. Who knows what's going to happen with the cop? I thought they killed him off, but I don't really know. We'll see what happens. But I think he got injected with that stuff though. So if something's going to happen, the doctor lady's going to have to come clean. Or when he comes back alive, she's going to show her true colors and side with him and say that they need to go back. That's the only thing I can think of what's going to happen in the show. Anyways, that's all really I can say. I don't really, you should really check it out. Definitely, I want to give you everything, tell you everything if you haven't seen it yet. So I know some of you guys, you'll watch it anyway. Bad, bad. Anyways, Glitch, a really, really good show. I want to give a true, huge video on this show. Super good. It has a supernatural element to it. The actors are not that bad. There is moments that you think they could have picked a different actor for this role, but it overall, most of the actors are pretty good. I'm not going to point out which ones are bad. You trust me, you're going to know when you watch a show. I'm just going to say it's a couple of the dead people, not very good actors. Maybe it's because they're dead. Oh, it's a show. Never mind. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Anybody you think that will enjoy this video, and let them know about the good old Brad Tragic over here on the Brad Tragic channel. Anyways, keep rocking and continue watching movies and, well, TV shows too, and Netflix. Yeah. Later, guys.